What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video. This video is going to be on my top 10 fat burning tips and also how to stay lean while bulking. So stay tuned. Probably the most important and most obvious one is to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. That means you are burning more than you are consuming. And the way that comes in a form is not 500 a day like some people recommend. I would start by doing 200 a day less and then maybe increasing it to 3 if you're not seeing results or your results are stagnating, and then maybe increase it to 350 to 400 a day. Or if you're at maintenance level, make sure you're doing enough exercise so you're still at a deficit in that way, rather than actually cutting out the food. So you're eating more or less the same food, your maintenance calorie level, whatever that might be, and then you're just doing more exercise to accommodate for more calories to be burnt. And the way that looks is, well, you can use MyFitnessPal. The only way you're really going to know is to actually track your calories, at least track them for a few weeks. I've done a whole video on tracking calories. You can watch that above. That way, I think I got it right just about now, but that's the only way you can really view it. There are arguments to say that you don't need to track your calories, blah, blah, blah. If you do it a few times, you know exactly what you're eating, you know exactly what calories look like, then you can do it a lot easier. Watch my video, you'll see my full debate around that. One of the most overlooked tips that I keep telling people as of recent, because it's so overlooked that even sometimes I look and be like, hey, it's not really a problem. But yes, it is, and especially now there's a lot of pre-bought smoothies you can buy in the supermarkets, etc. I'm not saying to cut fruits out your diet completely. If the only way you can get fruits is by having them in a smoothie, do that, but just be mindful of not drinking your calories. You could easily swig down a maybe 400 to 500 milliliter glass with a smoothie in it, and that could be anywhere between 500 to 600 calories if you're having it with, say, stuff like nut butter. Bananas are really high in calories. One banana is over 100 or between 100 and 110 calories anyway. So just to give you an example, and a tablespoon of peanut butter is around 150 calories. So don't drink your calories. It's not satiating. It won't keep you full long. So don't be doing that. Next one, I'm a big proponent of IF, so that stands for intermittent fasting. That doesn't mean you fast every single day, but it means on some days, probably when it best suits you, you maybe forgo having breakfast, or you push breakfast back from, say, 8 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. or ditch the breakfast and just have lunch and just maybe have a slightly bigger lunch. And generally speaking, in a narrow eating window, which intermittent fasting basically is, it's just a narrow eating window. It's not a diet, it's just an eating pattern, so you're eating within a narrow window. I've done a full video on this a while back, so you can watch that at any point. But within this narrow eating window, you're more likely to be having less calories because you're obviously allowing yourself less time to eat those calories. So some people may shun a bit of this next point, so try carb backloading. I've done a video on carb backloading to go into way more detail, so you can watch that above. But in essence, carb backloading means not to have your carbs in the morning and to have your carbs for dinner. And also what this will allow in terms of fat burning, it'll allow you to not pig out all day or treat yourself all day. Say if you want one specific treat, like for that day, I'm not encouraging anyone to go just buying donuts and brownies or whatnot, but there are going to be days where we're going to have a piece of cake or we're going to deviate from our diet slightly. And if you have those days, doing carb backloading means if you have them in the evening, you're less likely to overeat on them during the day because you'll look forward to that specific time in the evening and just have that small treat. And I know I've said this countless times, and many people do say it, stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is so important because sometimes we confuse dehydration for hunger. Yeah, that's right. Sometimes we think we're hungry and in reality we're just dehydrated. And being hydrated also will give you that extra push in the gym, allow you to get more reps out, allow you to run further and just get generally more out of your workout. My next one's a bit of a funny one as well, because when you say no snacking, like I'm going to tell you now, I'm not going to tell you not to snack. I'm going to tell you keep snacking to a minimum, and if you can remove it, especially if you're not counting I would say breakfast, lunch and dinner and plus 2 snacks, you're gonna find it difficult to keep a lower end calorie restriction, if you know what I mean. Those 2 snacks might even take you over your calories, and also if you're eating 5 different times a day, which you will be with those 2 snacks, that's a bit excessive. So I would keep snacking to a minimum, and if you can, like I said, don't snack at all, and just have a bit larger, maybe a breakfast or a bit larger lunch or a bit larger dinner. Completely up to you. Make sure you eat enough protein. People say this time and again, but you may ask yourself, what is enough protein? So I done a video on this a while back. Excuse the audio quality and excuse me in general, because that was one of my earlier videos, but you can see exactly how much I suggest having when it comes to protein. Don't over-consume protein, but having enough protein, make sure you're having a little bit of protein with every meal, means you stay fuller longer. So protein is actually a lot more satiating than anything else. And if you do have excess protein, like I've said in other videos, it will just store as glucose or convert to glucose, even not store as glucose. And then, yeah, you don't want that, that's for sure. My next one's be prepared. So be prepared could mean a number of things, but when I say be prepared, it means have your fridges, your cupboards stocked up with good foods. Good foods means you're more likely to make the correct decision. And if you're not having those good foods in your house even, or your flat, then you're obviously more likely to, have a quick fix, say go to get takeaway or something like that. And it's likely not going to be a healthy fix if it's a quick fix. I mean, by quick fix, I mean like a super quick fix. You can make healthy meals fast, but you know what I mean. The next tip is make sure you're getting enough sleep. If you're tired, you're much more likely to reach for the easier option. It goes back to being prepared, like I said in my last point. But if you are well rested and you've had good sleep, you're much more likely to be alert and you'll make the correct decisions. And also, you're more likely to exercise that day as well. If you're too tired, sometimes you just forgo exercise and say, I'm not going to train today, I'll train tomorrow, because you haven't had a good night's sleep and you don't have the energy for it as well. Number 10, and my final one, be mindful when consuming fruit. Fruit can become quite calorific. If you have an apple and banana, you're already looking at almost 200 calories. If you throw in a satsuma as well, you're looking already around 250 calories. That's just on 3 pieces of fruit. So if you're having fruit, the lower calorie options such as strawberries, blueberries, raspberries are really good, because you can have more in terms of volume and get away with far less calories and get far more micronutrients with berries than you can with something like, say, a banana. I know it's different, but you can get more as in a full spectrum. So those are my tips. I hope you enjoyed them. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up. If you have any questions or you have any additional tips, feel free to drop them below. Always open to suggestions. And like always, until the next video, keep pushing those limits.